Hello, and welcome to the Redhead and the Bearded Beauty. I'm the Redhead.
And I am the Bearded Beauty.
And we're back.
We are back.
After a 3-week hiatus,
Yes.
which I didn't intend. I was going to have like Corey or someone with a beard like fill in for you, but we just got so swamped. It just didn't happen.
Just a little bit going on. I kind of saw from afar. I was watching, kind of keeping an eye on the city news, and I saw you guys were a little bit busy while I was gone.
A little bit busy, so it didn't rise to the priority level. So
Got back last week, and it was really busy last week, and so we weren't able to do it.
We weren't able to do it. In fact, the only reason we carved out some time this afternoon is because Lindsay, who we'll have on just a while, mentioned this to us that she missed the show. So we're like, okay, we'll bring the show back for Lindsay.
As long as she's a guest.
As long as she's a guest. Yeah,
Otherwise, we weren't going to do it.
Yeah, we did kind of gild her. So yeah. But she's great. She does so much for the city. So.
Yeah, I got a nice welcome back. My first day back last week, I got stuck on the elevator.
Do we have the picture?
I'll put one in when I'm editing this later.
Okay.
I'll put a picture of me walking off. I
funny.
was on my way up, and I got stuck between the 8th and 9th floors. For about half an hour, fire department had to come and raise the elevator up because I was in between two floors and let me out. So that was some fun time sitting in there.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's not the best welcome, but it was very funny for us.
It was.
Yes.
It was actually kind of fun. Just sitting there like, hey, I'm stuck in the elevator. Look at me.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's no fun. And so talk about the baby.
Talk about the baby. First off, Jennifer Magana, our director of law, she guessed Catherine for the name.
Okay.
And Catherine was the middle name. We had Rose Catherine, born on September 17th. Man, I'm like, I forgot that there for a second. It's
been a long time. Like it seems like it was all just yesterday, but also a year ago.
And I've lost a lot of sleep since then. But yeah, no, Rose Catherine. So I decided no one else came even close. So the 2 tickets to Benacka are going to go to Jennifer Magana.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was a Friday afternoon. My wife gave me a call. Like we went in the hospital, and it was kind of a roller coaster. At one point, we thought we were going home, and then all of a sudden they're like, "No, your water broke, and we're delivering the baby tonight." And so I think it was 5:35 in the morning. Rose finally came.
Yeah.
So,
how's she doing?
Doing good. We got a picture of her. She's finally. Yeah, she's sleeping better through the night. But she's fun. We got 2 good big sisters, and yeah.
Are they having fun?
They are having lots of fun.
That's
they have to get their snuggle time in the mornings before they go to school.
That's good.
The other day, I think, when we had the event, the police event with the candidates, I left and both girls had held Rose that morning, so I didn't have a chance to hold her. And then I worked all day. I didn't get home till after 9 o'clock. And I'm like, I haven't held the baby all day long. So.
Did you wake her up to hold her?
I did not. You do
That's
not
good.
wake a sleeping
baby.
baby.
Wake a sleeping baby. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good time. Mom, baby, everybody's
doing well. Yeah.
Doing well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's good to be back, but at the same time, it's like you wonder how you get stuff done when you're at work, because I felt like I was busy that entire 2 weeks. So.
Yeah. I bet, and I bet you're tired too.
Yeah, it's better. I'm not the one up nursing at night, but I feel for Jeanette on that side of it.
Jeanette.
But I help where I can.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're glad to have you back. It was fun. While you were gone, I broke our podium.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, really sorry for that. I dropped it on my foot, so and I broke the sound on it doing that. So never say this job is without its hazards.
Yeah, broke the sound and broke the podium itself. So
yeah, it did break the podium itself. It gave as good as it got. It made both Nolan and I bleed, and we were patching up in the car on the way to the news conference. And then my foot was a normal color for the first 2 days, and it has remained blue, green, black for 2 weeks now. So
that stinks.
It's fine. It's fine. But it was quite funny because the sound wasn't working, and I was like, oh, I did that.
Yeah, that first news conference I did last week when I had to take that out there and the bottom fell off. I'm like, what did I do?
You didn't do anything. I messed up bad. So yeah, I felt really bad. So yeah.
How was everything else while I was gone? I don't even remember. There's been so much happening this last 2 weeks since I've been back.
There was so much. We were just flying by the seat of our pants as usual. I mean, this is a busy job. Everyone at the city is busy, but lots going on. Moving forward on that. Busy week this week, and so at the beginning of our we have Monday morning meetings, with our departments and stuff. So, and I said to our internal comms team, I was like, "Oh, I think it's going to be a slower week this week," and I was wrong. I jinxed us.
And it's your fault now.
It is my fault. So I take blame for lots of things, and that's one of them.
I think I might have jinxed us for tomorrow. So, it should be pretty quiet. I said that earlier. So tomorrow, I'm sorry if there's big news, but that's on me.
I'm supposed to be off tomorrow, so good luck with that.
Yeah, should be fun. So, yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, Tuesday we had the police chief candidate forum.
They've had a really busy week. They've met with all sorts of community partners, NAACP, Racial Profiling Board, Visit Wichita, Greater Wichita Partnership, PD command staff, PD employees. So they got in Monday, and they've had from beginning of the morning to 7:00 at night, packed schedules. You can see a bulleted list of everything that they did on wichita.gov/WPD chief search. So they've been really busy. Forum was pretty good, well attended. We didn't get to all the questions. Yeah. And we got all of them, or most of the in-person questions. We have written questions. We plan on doing something after we choose a police chief to have them address those. So
yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, if you didn't get your questions answered, we do plan on finding a time to be responsive to the community on those with our final selected candidate.
Otherwise, we still might be sitting there answering questions.
Yeah, so. Very, very much so. But yeah, and it was just such a busy week. So
yeah, that was fun. I think one of the candidates I'd heard, he said that this is one of the most thorough and involved processes for becoming police chief he's ever been a part of. So
we had the review committee from the community that really helped guide that process and narrow down the chosen candidates. I believe we had 19 people, and then of course we had our public consultant that if you hire a police chief, typically that's what you do. They do this all around the country. So yeah. Very, very interesting process. So we will see what comes of that. We do anticipate having an announcement by the end of October.
Very good. So, we're looking forward to that. And seeing who our next chief's going to be.
Yeah.
Communications-wise, we got some news going on. We got the survey.
Yeah. On tomorrow, 5,000 of our residents will get a community survey randomly selected from all 6 districts. And then I think they're going to get a paper survey, and then they'll have an opportunity to do a digital survey. And we might open that up afterward, but we want to get those scientific responses first, and then see. But yeah, kind of giving your insight on the community.
So if you get one of those surveys, please fill it out, return it to us, and helps us shape what we're going to be doing going forward. So
yeah, I think you can rank your priorities for the city and what we do and stuff. So that's always interesting. We used to do this every 2 years. We're going to make it once every year to just get more frequent feedback. So and look at that. But I mean, that really guides a lot of what we do too, that input. So it's important if you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else we got coming?
Oh, we've got Commerce Art District. We're doing an RFP. If you're an artist, apply for that. It's on our Facebook. It's on our Twitter. So check that out. What else? Maggie Ballard, Councilmember Ballard, filled in for the mayor today. He's off site this week on a trip. So she did great at the briefing.
Yeah, we're over at the art museum.
Yeah, it was her first one, and we gave her one of our longer briefings, so I felt bad, but she did so well.
She did really well.
I told her she messed up because I was like, "Well, you messed up. You did so well. Now we're going to make you do all of these. We're just going to give you more briefings."
That's the way it works. You do something good, we keep going to you. So yeah. All right. Well. On that note, talking about art museum, let's bring in our guest, Lindsay Benacka, Director of Arts and Cultural Services. So we are going to take a quick break, and then we're going to bring Lindsay in here. So we'll see you in just a moment. And welcome back. We are now joined by Lindsay Benacka. Thank you for coming and being on the show.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
You are currently the director of City Arts, but also Benacka. You do all the things.
Yeah, so I'm actually director of arts and culture for the city. And then Alicia Gridley's our director at City Arts, but my office is there, so it's extra confusing.
Yeah.
And then also at Benacka right now, too. So we wear a lot of hats.
You wear a lot of hats, and I automatically got your title wrong, so I apologize.
That's okay.
It's been a while. We're rusty.
Yeah, we're getting back into the swing of things here.
Right. So. In fact, we didn't have a guest for this week, and at the police forum on Tuesday evening, you just mentioned to me that you missed the podcast.
I did. I'm one of your tens of listeners, is what I told you. I'm your target audience, but I'm also your colleague. So selfishly, I love these because as someone newish to the city, I feel like I learn a lot about how our own organization works.
Yeah.
So
we're educating somebody.
Yeah, we're infotainment, at least internally for the city, for our employees. I love that.
Very good. So we like to play this game called Two Truths and a Lie to kind of kick these things off. Do you have two truths and a lie?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
But we will see. So they're related to arts and cultural services because we are a very niche part of municipal government, and selfishly my favorite part. But so one of the things that we're doing right now is the Arts and Economic Prosperity Study. We participate in it every about 5 years or so. The last time we participated in it, we proved that the Wichita arts community, the nonprofit arts community, was a $50 million arts community on an annual basis. $50 million. So that's the first tidbit. The second one is that the Keeper of the Plains, our most prominent piece of public art in our public art collection, is lit every single night. The Ring of Fires, we light them every single night. Manually, our public works department does that. So it's a manual lighting. And then the other one of our additional prominent pieces of art is the troll, the infamous troll that's pretty close to the Keeper. And a story goes, it was installed in 2007 as part of like a landscaping beautification project where it was actually pretty difficult to change the outflow station from the Evergy plant that was right there. So instead of actually doing the construction work to kind of disengage that outflow, we thought it'd be easier and more exciting to just put a troll there. So that's how we got the troll.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Those are your tidbits.
I know the second one is true.
Wrong. I'm going to argue. It's wrong.
The reason I know this, I looked up, I also have a keeper fact.
Okay.
So it is manually lit. There are things out there that automatically keep you from lighting it if the river's too high, the wind's too high, people get too close.
Yes,
but you have to manually light it.
No, I know you have to manually. I was going to argue that it's untrue because we don't light it all the time because if the river is too high or there's a goose or something like that. That's why I think it's
okay. I was going to go with the first one and say it was like 100 million instead of 50.
Okay.
And so you're saying the second one.
I'm saying the second one is a lie because we don't light it every day.
Okay, so we are a $94.7 million nonprofit arts community.
Oh my gosh.
And this
That's
is circa 2015. So we're doing the study right now. And over our last 20 years of participating in this study, we tend to double every 5 years. So we're really excited to see what the numbers look like in this next iteration as we're post-pandemic or currently pandemic, how our arts communities bounce back financially. But $94.7 million on an annual basis is what our arts community, just the nonprofit sector, does.
That's awesome.
Mic drop.
Whatever.
I guess I can see both sides on the Keeper. The intent is to light it every single night.
Yeah.
There are some exceptions, weather delays. Goose is my favorite one.
Goose.
If there's environmental reasons is really what it is, but it's natural gas, so we light it every single night, and we manually operate. Our public works guys go out every single night to do it, like kind of a site assessment to make sure it's safe. But it's one of the most frequent calls I get to my office is, are we lighting it tonight? And if so, what time? Or why didn't we light it last night?
Stop you right there.
Okay.
So you don't go any further and steal my personal lie.
So sorry.
I was worried when you started going that way. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to come up with something else real quick.
Okay, then.
But very good.
Carry on.
Yeah. No, I think it's your turn.
With that, I'll go ahead and go. So I'll go with the Keeper of the Plains first. The Ring of Fire is lit every night at 7 p.m. And since 1999, the Arts Council, which is housed at City Arts, has worked in partnership with the City of Wichita to achieve its mission of advancing and promoting arts and culture in the Wichita community through advocacy, education, and outreach. And you need to fill out a community event application in Wichita if your party is in excess of 100 attendees.
See, I feel like the last one is the lie, but I also think you're incorrect on the first one.
You think I'm incorrect on the first one? I hope not.
Because it changes for the seasons. We change the times for summer, and we change the times. In fact, we just talked about this. How we every year we announce the changing of the times when we do daylight saving. So
that's correct. Actually, I read that wrong. It is 250, and you were right. I got it. Right now, it is
Got me with the semantics today. I'm sorry.
Man,
I'm annoying.
How dare you pay attention and know?
I'm sorry.
No, it's 250 people. Sorry, I read that wrong. In excess of 250 people, you have to have a community event application. And right now it's 9 p.m. And then as soon as we switch back to standard time, then it goes to 7 p.m. every night.
That's correct. So. And actually on that second one with the Arts Council, kind of a lie too, because although we've been in a formal partnership with them since 99, Arts Council's been around for 52 years. So it's been a well-established organization with various levels of partnership with the city.
I like that you got all of them wrong.
I got them all wrong. With that, thank you very much. I'm going to leave you to the podcast, and I'm just going to leave for the day.
We're doing great. We're doing great today.
A little rusty.
Okay, so before we get to mine, have you ever been in the base of the Keeper? Like inside the Keeper?
No, I have not.
I have, and it was a thrill, honestly. There's nothing interesting in the base of the Keeper. It's just like the soundboard and all that fun stuff for the music and lighting the Keeper. But it is kind of exciting because you open the turtle door and you like go in and you can look up and see where the base is. So inside city knowledge.
I gotta get in
It's
there.
like a closet.
Yeah, it's like a closet. Yeah. I think there's a bucket and some.
You're really selling it.
Yeah. But
I look forward to the opportunity.
We do get asked, we're like, what's in the base of the Keeper? What's in that turtle door?
Yeah.
I was thrilled to go through the turtle door when I got to go. So.
So what information can you get wrong?
Well, none of it, because I looked mine up. And no, I'm kidding. It is Fire Prevention Week, something that we do every year. Very important. We focus on public safety messages. Our firefighters have been out in the community all week spreading safety messages. They do it throughout the year, but especially important this time. It's the 100th year of Fire Prevention Week. The U.S. has one of the highest rates of fatalities for fire. And a good way to prevent it that a lot of people don't do is to keep your bedroom door open at night to allow the air to come in and out.
You want to go ahead? I know the answer.
I feel like that's false.
The last one?
Aren't you supposed to keep your door closed?
You're supposed to keep your door closed.
Close before you doze.
Close before you doze. Okay. Close before you doze.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
See, that's one I didn't know, that we would always leave our bedroom door open so the girls could easily get into our room at night if whatever they got up. So
yeah. Well, and I didn't know this, and I think it was on a podcast. She was telling us if you're like in an upstairs bedroom, make sure you close it, and then it's easier for them to rescue you out of the window than it is to go downstairs. And a lot of people, that's their first thing is to go downstairs, but just to keep it closed and let them rescue you.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Important facts.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Lindsay, tell us a little bit about yourself, with the city, what you do, and then what you do outside of the city.
Sure. So I've been with the city a little bit less than a year. I just recently relocated back to Wichita from Arizona, where I was in a comparative role with the city of Yuma, Arizona. I've been in municipal government for a little over a decade. Actually moved to Arizona from working for the city of Wichita. So I never thought I'd have the opportunity to come back, and here I am. But I oversee the Division of Arts and Culture, which is a subdivision of the city manager's office by ways of Parks and Recreation. But we work, I think, with every city department to a certain extent on all sorts of things. We're known for our brick and mortar operations with City Arts, the Indian Museum, Cowtown, and Century 2, but then we also have oversight over contract management for the Wichita Art Museum, Benacka, Sedgwick County Historical Society, Museum of World Treasures. I know I'm going to miss one, the Kansas Aviation Museum, and then we provide staff support to the Arts Council, which we consider our institutions. And then we have a competitive grant funding program where we fund, I think next year we're going to give out 33 unique operational grants to local arts nonprofits and to individual artists for professional development. So that's kind of like the bulk of what we do, but then we also foster the city's robust public art collection.
Yeah, so really just not a lot going on. Not a lot, yeah.
No, we're always looking for things to do,
yeah.
But the city has art embedded into so many of the things we do, from our Percent for Art program that Public Works and our engineering department do a great job of embedding art into all of our capital improvement projects. We get to seat at that table as well. So we're a small division, but our footprint is pretty large.
Yeah.
We can talk about some of the programs that you offer that people that might be interested in a variety of different types of art, things that classes they can take, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I was talking with Alicia, the director at City Arts, right before this. I'm like, any fun facts I can share about City Arts? Because we just have so many things that we offer that I think our portfolio is so large, it's hard to even know where to start.
Yeah.
But we have art classes up the wazoo, anything you can name. We have one of the only public glass blowing studios in the region. So if you're interested in glass blowing,
I've done that. It's great.
It's such a unique art form that the city supports, and local artists utilize it as studio space. But if you're ever interested in it, we have beginner classes all the way to professional artists use it as their studio space. So that's kind of one of our niche areas. Pottery, painting, fiber arts, you name it, we kind of dabble in it. City Arts is kind of our main arts education space, but they have a road show and they're always partnering with recreation centers. They'll be at Cowtown this weekend for a community fair day. We pop up all over the place, but City Arts is kind of the best place to kind of see if you're interested in art classes, young to old, you name it, we've got it.
Yeah.
Very good.
I have a story. So my dad and I, for Father's Day, we would always do like an event together. He liked to do things, and he was an artist. One of his degrees was in art, and so like even he had cancer, and so he had limited mobility toward the end. But one of the last Father's Days we spent together, we went to City Arts, and we did a glass bead making workshop because it was one of the things that he could do because he could sit down, he could do it, and I still have them, and it was just super meaningful. And I mean, it's for me, I'm obviously not an artist, and the City Arts classes that I've taken have been more about like the experiences with the people that I did with them. Like my girlfriends and I, we did like a Galentine's Day like pottery class, and they were horrible, just horrible, horrible, monstrous pottery creations because you could also bring your own wine. So just gonna leave that at there. But it was those experiences were just so fun. So fantastic. Have you taken any classes at City Arts or with the city?
Oh gosh, not in a very long time. In my first round here I did. My background's in the arts obviously, so it's my jam. But I always say your story's a perfect example of how art is good for everybody. You don't have to be good at art for it to be good for you. And I think that's one of the niche areas of where art and municipal government really collide in terms of community service and it being really just good for everybody all the time. But I think the last art class I took was a painting class with Will Fothy, who's one of our prominent painting teachers at City Arts, and he also teaches at WSU and at Butler and other places, but he's an incredible painting teacher. I want to get back in the studio with him.
That's really cool. That's awesome. You mentioned our public art collection. And one thing that we talk about when we're talking about dynamic cities is it's not about where you're driving, it's about where you're walking. And there's a public walking art tour with all the sculptures downtown, I want to say in the spring. Do you know how many sculptures we have in our collection?
That is a good question that I should know the answer to. We recently hired a public art manager because of just this. We're actively growing our collection with the Percent for Art program. So we are rapidly just trying to keep up with our growing collection. I want to say we have over 200 pieces total in the collection, which would include murals and some aesthetic modifications to properties, not just like a standalone sculpture. On Douglas is probably our most notable sculpture collection with the bronze sculptures that we have throughout the Douglas area downtown, and I want to say that we have about 18 there. The Arts Council also has a sculpture walkabout, which is an annual program in Old Town that has 13 sculptures that rotate on various years. So that might be what you're thinking of. And that's one that is supported by the city. All the pedestals are city property, but it's really an Arts Council program that we help support.
That's really great.
Yeah, that's really neat to walk around Old Town and see those different sculptures from year to year.
Yeah.
I can remember one that just stands out. I think one year was a tornado that when the wind would blow, it would sit there and spin. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a cool one.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about your department also handles events, community events and applications and that sort of thing. So talk about, I know we touched on it and I probably got it wrong too there and two truths and a lie, but when people are looking to have an event, what are the triggers that they need to apply for a community event application?
Ooh, another good question that I should probably know the answer to. Isaac Unruh is our kind of special events specialist, if you will, and he's housed out of Parks and Recreation. By ordinance, it falls under Arts and Cultural Services, so that's where we work very collaboratively with Parks and Rec on special events. I want to say, you mentioned the 100-person event. If you want to do a street closure of any kind, even in your neighborhood, or a block party, we kind of have different avenues for that. If you want to do a parade, we always encourage, if you have a protest in mind, to give us a heads up. Although you may or may not need a permit depending on the scope of your event, we always just want to inform the public first that something's happening. And if there's any safety concerns, we want to make sure PD's involved. Rolling protests are one that surprised me a little bit, because I didn't really have a knowledge base in it prior to this position, that we absolutely support them, and versus a rolling protest versus a parade, I think is interesting. So it's where the street closure is really only in the block of where the people are moving, but we always want to have PD escorts and make sure everyone's safe in the process.
Yeah.
And I had a few of the other things here. I didn't get a chance to touch on these, but it was serving alcohol.
Oh, yes.
Or selling alcohol.
Absolutely.
Activities on park property, and it's the attendance is when it's in excess of 250 people. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
the alcohol one is a very important one, because Kansas has very specific alcohol laws that I'm still learning and figuring out. And a lot of them are prompted at the city level first and foremost, and then they kind of go up from there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting. And Isaac's so great. He's great to work with. I know he gets a lot of requests from people, but it's usually it's a good place to start interacting with your city government, and like Isaac makes it so like helpful and just streamlines that process. So.
Yes, I think I call him at least once a day with some random question that comes to my mind. I'm like, what if someone wanted to have a garage sale with 30 of their neighbors? What is that? How do we do that? So there's a different process for everything, but we try to make it as seamless as possible for the community.
Yeah. So, and you touched on this and thankfully corrected me at the beginning, but so you are currently the interim director for Benacka after Marty retired after many years of service.
Yeah.
Which is, he was here for so long. We love Marty. And obviously we're going to go out and search for a final director for Benacka eventually, but Benacka is such an interesting arts and cultural amenity in our community, and I think most people don't realize they are a city entity.
Right.
So, and they do so many great events. How many, do you know off the top of your head how many events Benacka does?
A lot.
A lot. It's a lot.
And numerous.
Numerous.
And it's like illuminations can be considered one event, but it's a year-long process. By the time we plan it, execute it, and pack it back up, it's an all-year process.
Yeah. We're going to the Jack-O-Lantern Fest this weekend.
Yeah, that's going on right now. It's almost sold out, so I don't know when this airs, but if you're interested in anything at Benacka, get your tickets. Get them soon.
That's good to know. I was just going to roll up to the door, so I'm going to get those after this. But yeah, and then we just went to the Symphony played at Benacka, and that was gorgeous.
Yeah, it's an area of the city government that I had no idea we even were part of Benacka until I got the interim role. I knew the property maybe was owned by the city, but I didn't really know what the relationship is. I think this is where I love what I do and what the footprint that our department has, because we are in so many public-private partnerships that we really champion so many things in the community, and Benacka is a great example of it. So the director position there is a city position, and we have a handful of gardening positions there as well. They're city employees, but the rest are all Benacka Inc., which is a nonprofit. Yeah. So with our powers combined, we have these fabulous organizations that are really doing amazing things. So all along Museum Boulevard, we have equivalent of that and unique different partnerships, and Benacka is probably one of our most unique ones, I think, but it's successful in every definition of the word. So I jumped at the opportunity to be over there because it's just very inspiring. The gardens are stunning. The weather's now beautiful, so I try to stroll over there at least a few times a week, just walk through the gardens, and it's beautiful. And
they have memberships. I'm a member of the art museum, and so I'm getting a Benacka membership because we were there and we're just like, we should come here more often.
Yeah. One of the hot tips on the Benacka memberships are they have reciprocal memberships with other botanical gardens in the U.S. So I think I shouldn't even say a number because I'm not positive on it. I want to say in the 60s of reciprocal memberships, and ours is one of the cheaper ones in the country.
Wow.
So if you want to go to the Desert Botanical Museum in Phoenix, Arizona, your Wichita Botanical Garden Pass will get you in. Denver has one. So that's a really exciting part of our membership base that I didn't even know about. Yeah. We have a lot of people that get their Wichita membership that maybe will never even step foot in our gardens because it's cheaper than their local garden. So
that's funny.
Which is like a good and bad thing that you're like, well, I hope they come to visit us, but it's one of the really great reasons to be a member.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Very nice. Yeah, Benacka, my girls absolutely love going there at Christmas time and seeing illuminations. That's a yearly must for our family, so we got to go there all the time.
Yeah, and tickets are on sale, so get them early because that is sure to sell out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the improvements, that's one thing I think positive COVID brought to illuminations anyway. It's so smooth now. Like there's now a path that people have to follow, and it's just like people keep moving along, and so it's made it really nice. So.
Yeah. All right, are we ready for dad jokes? I'm ready for dad jokes. Do you have a dad joke?
Yes. Oh yeah. I feel a lot of pressure with these. Though, as a longtime listener, I felt like I had to show up. So we do a lot of art maintenance. How do we know when it's time to fix a piece of art?
I feel like I should know this.
I know. I'm like, I don't know.
When it's Baroque.
Oh, yes.
Very nice.
I love it. That's great. Score.
Do you want to go?
When an artist meets his artist rival, what does he say?
Artist meets his artist rival. I don't know.
I challenge you to a doodle.
Oh, that's nice.
I have one more that ties two of our municipal departments together. All right.
Okay.
Why was the artist arrested for painting in the police station?
Painting in the police station.
I don't know.
He had an unfortunate brush with the law.
Oh.
A good one.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so in my house, we don't have a lot of, any expensive art. We have no Monet.
I always like that one.
That was good.
I had to play off of yours. So yeah,
I appreciate all the art jokes.
Yeah, no.
Well appreciate.
If two artists have an argument, do they just decide to call it a draw?
Nice.
So.
Now I really want two artists to fight based on our puns.
Very nice. Yeah, that would be fun. Like, get it on video, do a TikTok out of that.
Yeah.
On it.
Yes.
Making it happen.
I love it.
So now we know what we're doing next week now.
Yep.
So we're good.
Live art battle.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, Lindsay, thank you so much for coming on the show, telling us a little bit about what you do. So
thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
All right, and thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at social@wichita.gov. Let us know you got comments on the show or a topic you want to hear about. Thanks for watching.